differences or worldview, and that's what we bring to the table, being part of the discussion, being part of this mosaic which U.S. America is made of, and we think we have all a role to play in enriching this society, and the recognition is to come about from all, and certainly in terms of going about doing that in this space for everyone. That's the cliche that we all came to the same boat by to the same ship, coming by different boats, and so that's basically it. So whatever you want to do, I mean, go ahead, I mean, ask questions, whatever it is, but in your mind, I mean, we're able to try to address that.
Okay. Well, like I said, I handed out, what I handed out to all of you was just the Wikipedia. No problem. We just started, so. I handed out to all of you pretty much just the Wikipedia post on Part 51. Like I said, I've got a lot of information here, and a lot of it is just not really factual. It's just all opinions. So, I mean, if anyone would just like to start with just a basic question, you know?
Does the Coffee Grounds Party have a stance or
Change the name.
Okay. Does the Coffee Party have a sentence what it's about?
We have a mission statement. I'll go ahead and start with
Sure.
that. The Coffee Party movement gives voice to Americans who want to see cooperation in government. We recognize that the federal government is not the enemy of the people, but the expression of our collective will, and that we must participate in the democratic process in order to address the challenges that we face as Americans. As voters and grassroots volunteers, we will support leaders who work towards positive solutions and hold accountable those who obstruct them. And by what that means is civil participation, getting people involved back in the process. I mean, did it start out as kind of a response to the Tea Party? Yeah. But it's evolved. It's all about getting yourself involved in the process. All right.
Okay, let me ask you this question, and how many of you know how many Muslims are there in America? You're all very well versed, and
How many Muslims
are in America?
How
US.
many live?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. How many Muslims in America? We talk about them, we talk about,
Is it 4.5 million? Or?
yeah, try again, so again, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, good try, I mean, yeah, so, but I'm saying, so.
Yes.
So,
Oddly specific number.
Now, is there a difference between Muslim and Islam, and do they use the same book like Mormons and Catholics?
so good questions, I mean, all valid questions. So again, that's where this all comes about, is about knowing your neighbor, and so knowing more about them before starting to speak about them, and so, and going to the sources and getting those answers directly, rather than, which I would say, the proverbial, the tube, which is the TV. And so these are your next door neighbors or colleagues or your physicians, and we just came back from the physicians attending some of the Champaign County residences with Dr. Boone also, and the volunteers there at the Sina Community Health Center. So okay, to answer the question, there are about 8 million Muslims in America, and the time in a recent article reported 2 million. And again, so you can, again, because the census does not clearly that takes religion into account, so of course these are guesstimates, but this is done by the different Muslim organizations and other, so to speak, non-partisan entities like Pew Foundation and the like would come out with a number between 6 to 8 million.
Okay, are Islamists and Muslims, is that the same? Do they use the Quran?
Okay, so again, the question is that what is the difference between Christians and Christianity? And that's exactly what it is. So Islam is the religion, right? And any follower of Islam is a Muslim.
Okay.
And again, it's a Muslim. It's not a Muslim. So it's a Muslim. So you call people by the name that they would like to be called. And so again, it's spelled as M-U-S-L-I-M, Muslim, with a soft S, not like a Z. So Muslim. Islam, soft S. Again, Islam, peace. Again, that's what it starts off. So, so again, and then within that domain, Islam, Muslims, there are Muslims who practice, and there are Muslims who who profess to Islam, but may have a different understanding of Islam. And just like you would have in different denominations in Christianity. And so there may be all kinds of people. Again, what you have to say is that Islam is a divinely revealed religion, and that it is a continuation of the three divinely revealed religions, which is Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And to be a Muslim, one has to believe the divine religions of Judaism and Christianity and the prophets which brought this message, including the books. Otherwise, one is not a Muslim. So that means that, so yes, so Muslims take into account or hold as part of their belief and creed is that Prophet Adam, Prophet Noah, Prophet David, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, peace be upon them all, are all prophets of God, including Prophet Muhammad as the last messenger of God. So, and so that means acceptance of the Old Testament and the acceptance of the New Testament, the Bible, in its original revealed form, with the Quran as the last word of God on this earth for mankind. And that's why Prophet Muhammad is said as to be sent in as a messenger to mankind, to humankind. Not for Muslims, but for mankind. He came into our Arabia because that's where the maximum ignorance was 1400 some years ago, but his message is meant for mankind. So
Does the Tea Party have a stance yet? Does the Tea Party with Sarah Palin, do they have like a sentence out there about? No. Okay.
No, because there's the Tea Party is different than the Coffee Party in that there is not a national Tea Party. It's like the local chapters of the Tea Party are separate entities from anything, not accountable to anybody. So they all kind of make their own mission statements. It's just a common misconception. There are some nationally incorporated entities. One's called the Tea Party Patriots. I think Tea Party Express. They kind of incorporated some different groups, but like I said, it's not a monolith.
What was it?
Just had a question because this is the year of the midterm elections, so most of the Tea Party candidates, whether it's Christine O'Donnell in Delaware or anywhere, they're actually contesting to be the representative of the Republicans. So in that way, they seem to be like part of the offshoot of the Republican Party.
It does seem to be that way.
So
Yeah, and I mean that's where I, often hesitate to even identify with the movement. I don't want to take too much time, but yeah, I think that in Christine O'Donnell and some of these people are the same types who I think kind of had this knee-jerk reaction speaking out against the Part 51 project.
And honestly,
it's a pretty standard. I mean, most of the Republicans I meet, like, they seem to be anti-Muslim. If I can paint a broad generalization, I think that most people think that that seems to be a generalization that you can paint. They seem to be anti-Muslim. I mean, if you look at the wars that they started, it seems that they're anti-Muslim. So those are definitely some broad generalizations, but I could go on.
I think a lot of it too, I think on a very fundamental level, this is political play for the midterms. They've just grabbed onto this. I mean, you can look at, public opinion. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of public opinion that says, people don't want it. And I think we have politicians that are latching onto that thinking, well, if I can get on board with this, that's going to win me votes. I think that's a lot of it. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I tend to agree because so when the anniversary of 9/11 came, that's when, so there was this hype about that pastor in Gainesville, Florida, talking about burning of Quran. So there were lots of blogs and lots of newspapers were asking why in 2010, it's not the immediate years following 9/11, why is it such a tense period? And you see this kind of hype where mostly these are used, these kinds of slogans, these kinds of issues are being hyped up to make electoral political gains. Why? Because these, like, fringe candidates, factions within the parties, they see that there is great dissatisfaction with the message of change, which started, in 2008. Unfortunately, Obama hasn't been able to deliver, and so there is that vacuum, that anger. So in order to capitalize, it's very unfortunate that because of politicians, this issue has been hyped up. Otherwise, nothing else has happened. There is no single major attack on the US soil which would lead to this kind of, usually this would be a reaction to an empirical development on the ground. But nothing of that sort has happened. It's just that politicization, competing with each other to capture the anger that the ordinary people or the disillusioned masses have. That's what I found.